been a long time since I've made a video. Hello, my name is Henry, I'm 19, and over the last couple of years I've written about 30 songs on the acoustic guitar. In this video I'm going to kind of outline how I would go about writing a song, and I'm going to do this by performing the most recent song I've written, which is called How'd You Get So Tall, and then I'm going to kind of go through line by line and talk about my kind of lyrical inspirations, which kind of all brought the song together, and also the musical ones, which gave me the chords and the rhythm. So we will cut now, without any further ado, to the song, and then we'll get on with the analysis in a couple of minutes. Okay, so here it is. My sun-kissed lady, our sun-kissed girl, I'll catch all the moonbeams, darling, to bring about the dawn, and you'll be so happy all day long. My sun-kissed lady, our sun-kissed girl, she says, hey look, no hands part, nothing slowed her down, except the moonbeams I'm not catching now. Granny comes to call, you're standing by the pencil lines on the wall, as she asks, how'd you get so tall? How'd you get so tall? How'd you get so tall? My sun-kissed lady, our sun-kissed girl, she says don't wait up for me, but what else am I for? I feel the weight of the closing door. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Don't ask me how, but it goes. I still recall what I composed when you weren't around. That when you come to call, I'll still see those pencil lines on the wall, and I'll jive. How'd you get so tall? So there's the song, which I hope that you guys enjoyed. But just to start now with the musical inspirations for the song. So firstly, it's on capo number 5, which was inspired by a song I really like, which is the Blues Run the Game by Jackson C. Frank, which I'd recommend you all listen to, which I will leave a link to in the description. And it's kind of a classic folk song, which just revolves around a G and a C. Take a boat to England, baby, baby to Spain, wherever I have gone, wherever I've been and gone, wherever I have gone, the blues, they run the game. And every verse works like that pretty much. No bridge, no real chorus, kind of a classic folk structure. But I really love that song. I've been playing it a lot recently. And yep, my capo was at number 5, and I was just goofing around with a C, G, and a D, and then that's how I got along to the My Sun-Kissed Lady. So just by reformulating the same chords of a song that I really like. Could kind of call those basic chords anyone can play with any experience on the guitar at all. But the chord that really kind of unlocked the song was this, which is an F sharp 9, I believe, was taken, it is just a chord, but I knew it from a Ron Sexsmith song, who is definitely my favourite artist, would recommend once again, but one of his songs called Right About Now, where he uses it in his bridge, going from C to F sharp 9, which I really liked, and that this chord, and when he opened it up to the E minor, A7, and then onto the C again. So it just adds a really interesting direction from the kind of basicness to more sincerity, if that's the right word. So now as we head into the kind of lyrical analysis, I will just say that my songs are generally fairly folky. I don't really know how to describe them. They're definitely not pop, as in they're not popular. But I do have a background in poetry. I loved it in school, and I've written a lot of poems before I ever picked up the guitar. But I think that's helped me with writing my songs, and I think my lyrics are fairly poetic, or at least that's in the back of my mind in terms of rhyming, structure, imagery, all that jazz. So let's break down the lyrics. Okay, so here we go into the lyrical analysis of the song, and starting with this kind of repetitive hook that I start with, which is my sun-kissed lady, our sun-kissed girl, which I wrote about my girlfriend and the thought of a future daughter with her. And then the overall theme of the song is about time passing and parenthood, and how they interact as a child, and in this case a daughter, grows up. And then the next line, I'll catch all the moonbeams. Moonbeams was just kind of an idea I got. I really like the word, and Harry Nilsson, who's an artist that I love, he has a song called the Moonbeam Song, and I just think it's a fantastic word, and I brought it in, and it's also contrasting sun-kissed, so I thought that was a nice bit of imagery, and that I'm catching these moonbeams to bring about the dawn. So there's general themes and imagery of sun, moon, and associating the sun and the daytime with happiness. And then into the next verse, once again repeats this line, just the repetition at the start of each verse to reinforce a bit of structure into the song, and it shows the growth of the child in this next line, as she's learning to ride a bike, so she's a little bit older than when she was obviously first born, and that nothing slows her down, which contrasts the overall theme of how quickly time moves, so another little bit of contrast. And I thought this was quite a nice line, except the moonbeams I'm not catching now, which comes back to the first line, where I'll catch all the moonbeams so that she can be happy in the daytime, but already time is moving so quickly and she's grown up so quickly that I'm not catching those moonbeams anymore, as they are the only things that seem to slow her down and stop her aging, I suppose. And then into the chorus, this is quite self-explanatory. It's a grandparent visiting the young child, and this next bit was inspired by a friend's house, actually, so shout out to Jacob, but on one of his doors in his house, he has pencil lines of him and his siblings when they were growing up, and how tall they got over time, or what age they were, and I loved the image of that, and it stuck in my mind. And then the grandparent asks, how'd you get so tall? You know, a classic kind of grandparent line, which in its nature is harmless, like, oh, how did you get so big? But in this song, it acts as more of a, where did all the time go? And then into another verse, the verses are kind of structured the same. First bit for structure, second bit showing how she's grown, and then kind of a more sentimental end. So she says to not wait up for her because she's now a teenager. You know, I'm imagining her going out to parties and things, coming home in the night, so kind of, you know, an association with the moonbeams, which isn't mentioned in this verse. And there's the rhetorical question of what else am I for, which is showing the kind of growing independence of this child. And this line, which literally closes it quite nicely, I think, all of the verses, because I feel the weight of the closing door. You know, I don't hear it, but it's because the moment actually has a weight to it, and the closing of the door just signifies like an ending of a chapter in life, because what would happen in this, fourth verse is that the daughter moves away from home. But here we go into the bridge. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Don't ask me how, but it goes. Just obviously the theme of time. I'll just keep banging on about that. And then this line was just thinking about, maybe 15 years, 10, 15 years time, when I'll be thinking about when I wrote this song, and that I still remember it, if I do end up having a daughter. And then it comes into the last chorus, and it's not the granny anymore. So it's not the granny who's infrequently seen and realises, wow, you've got so tall. It's me instead. And then I also see the pencil lines on the wall, reminiscing back to those younger times. And I'll jibe. And jibe, I think, is an interesting word. If you don't know what it means, it's like a small little remark or a joke. I was originally going to put and I'll sigh, but I didn't want to seem almost like a resentful parent, if that's the right word, and that I'm sad that she's grown up, because obviously it is a beautiful thing. But no, I put jibe to end on a more bittersweet note, a bit more tongue-in-cheek, and then ending once again with how'd you get so tall. So overall, I hope this kind of helped you to realise how complicated and difficult songwriting is, and how many things go into making one, in terms of inspirations. But if you have something to say and have even the basics down on an instrument, there's no reason why you can't create your own songs. So I hope you enjoyed this video and my song, and I also hope that you found it helpful, or at least interesting, to dive deeper into somebody's process of songwriting. And if any of you, whoever will watch this, if anybody watches this, if you write your own songs, maybe inspired by this, or just generally, drop me a link in the comments, and let me know what you thought, and have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.